I'm back. Obviously, I'm in a different location. If you have not been keeping up with me on Instagram, on my stories, I had to urgently move out of my apartment because it became infested with roaches. So I have not been reading The Artist's Way for the last 2 weeks. It's been literally 14, today makes 15 days since the beginning of the tower moment. And yeah, I've not read a lick of Artist's Way since then, but I wanted to get on here and check in with you guys because I'm still doing it. I'm not letting this hold me back. But yeah, I've just not read it and I've not done any of my morning pages. Today was actually the first day that I did my morning pages again since 2 weeks ago, since this all started. So without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, so I mean, while I'm not going to be talking about the Artist's Way, I do have some things that popped up this week and last week and the week before, like the week before the shitstorm, and then the 2 weeks from the shitstorm. Everything, a lot of things have happened that I do want to share, specifically about my professional opinion as an artist and the blocks that I've seen myself overcoming as an artist, especially like with thanks to tattooing and how tattooing has helped me learn how to say no or provide my professional opinion in a way that I feel comfortable doing. And it's spilled over into my other artistic practices. So, what I mean by this is like in the past, when people will come to me, and still this is something that I'm fighting, but like when people will come to me and commission me for something, this has never been an issue with my painting because that's not true. Let me pause. This has been an issue with my painting, but I just feel more comfortable with painting, and not many people, I know that people don't have a, like, necessarily the vision that I have when it comes to oil painting, and this is expressed to me. So, like, people will be like, oh, you're the artist. I don't know. I just want you to paint this. And I know that I know how to paint people specifically because usually when I'm getting commissioned oil paintings, it's to paint a person. I know that I know how to paint people. And so I do that very comfortably. I don't ask for any like advice, which from the client, I mean, like I'm not asking anyone for advice, or I'm not looking at their references in a way that I'm trying to draw from the references and paint something that looks like the reference, because I know that I'm painting in my own style. But when I started tattooing, because I was so new to the industry and to the medium, I relied very heavily on references, also because I'm self taught. So I relied very heavily on other people's like work, not to copy, but to reference to try and design something that was tattooable, because I didn't know all the rules for tattooing. I didn't know when you tattoo a line over time, it's gonna spread and like get thicker. Like you might this this line on my pinky was a lot thinner when I first did it than it is now because skin sucks up the ink, and then the ink over time like digests into the skin basically, and it spreads. It bleeds almost. And it shouldn't bleed too much. That's a blowout. But a line will just thicken over time. And I didn't know that. So I was relying on a lot of people's other work and references. References are so important in tattooing. And I got sidetracked because someone messaged me. But yeah, I relied so heavily on references. And now when I'm designing, I finally found my own voice in tattooing and my own style in tattooing. So I don't rely as heavily on people's references, like for anything other than they just want it to be something like this. But I always design in my own style because I recognize that they've come to me because they've seen my work and they like my style. And then if they don't like what I've designed, then we'll go back and forth. They'll give me notes and we'll go back and forth on how we can get to something that we both like. So I got commissioned to do a logo, a pretty big logo that I'm excited about, for some people. I will not tell you yet because I don't know if I'm allowed to. But I got commissioned to do a logo, and I've done logo design in the past, and like I've studied graphic design. I'm not a graphic designer because graphic design is its own lane and comes with its own rules. And there's a lot that goes into that that I don't think I'm necessarily the most well versed on to call myself a graphic designer, but I do some graphic design and I have enough knowledge now with Procreate to, and then Illustrator and Photoshop to create a graphic. And, but I got commissioned to do this logo and I was struggling, man. I was struggling, like, not in a way that like I couldn't come up with something, but I was just struggling to like create their vision. And when they came to me initially, they told me they wanted one thing, and I didn't get any references from them because I was like, okay, I have an image in my head already of what would look cool for them. I've looked at their page, I know kind of what they're about. Not even thinking about like maybe they're rebranding a little bit or this isn't going to be something that they already have out there. Like it's not going to look anything like what they already have out there because it's a new thing. Like, and it's probably for a specific project. And I didn't ask any of those questions. Like all of the other logos that I've done before, they were pretty much smaller scale, I'll say, not simple, but much smaller scale, and had a lot less eyes on them, I'll say. So I think it just was more, the people who were getting the designs for me, they were just more flexible with what they were wanting. And it was more cut and dry, like business logo, like not necessarily something creative and with so much room for interpretation. So I just didn't ask those questions this time around because that's what I was used to. Now I know better. Yeah, so I designed something and then gave that back to them and they were like, cool, this looks good. We like XYZ about it. Here's what we'd like to change. And here's the vision that we're looking for. And they sent references this time along with a little sketch that they sketched out and like some more voice notes. So I'm like, cool, I'm open to critique always because sometimes sometimes the first time I draw something, love it, cool. Even in tattooing, like people will be like, love it, no changes. Sometimes I'll have to go back and forth a lot of times, and that's normal. Like that's completely fair. I have a vision in my head. You as a client might have a vision in your head, and we are trying to meet in the middle. I can't just see what's in your head, even if you draw it on paper, because you're not me, the artist. And this was the lesson where you might be giving me something, or the client or the person getting like coming to me for my artistry will give me a reference. And it's not to say that they want it to look just like this. Like in my head, while I was doing this, I was like, okay, so they want it to look like this. And they gave me the drawing that they gave me. They were like, I'm trying to say it without saying too much, but like basically they were like, we want this to look like the logo is punched out of this design, this outer design. Like it's a stamp and then the inside words are cut out of this stamp. And for what they were wanting, I was finding it really hard to achieve everything that they were asking because they also wanted it to be like not too heavy looking. They wanted it to be really sleek. And with what they were asking for, something punched out of something does not give sleek at all. Like just from an artistic standpoint, a visual standpoint, if it's punched out, it's giving edgy, like not hard, but heavy. It can get edgy, but it's not going to give sleek in the way that they were asking for. And so we went back and forth with probably like 3 different versions until finally the last version, I was like, I just decided to do it the way that I know it would make sense because I know that they're giving me something, but they don't know that this doesn't make sense necessarily from a visual standpoint. That's why they're coming to me. If they knew, they'd do it themselves, like, but they don't. So they're trusting me and expecting me to make those decisions on my own and to come to them and tell them this is what makes sense. Let me show you what this looks like instead of trying to give you what you're asking for. Sure, maybe the first time I can do that, but once I'm realizing like this is not actually going to make sense, and to achieve what they're really asking for, the energy of what they're asking for, I know that they would like this, or at least I know I like this. So let me show them what I like and what I know. Because if what I've realized is if I don't like it, they're not going to like it. Like that's going to come across. And it's not that I didn't like the first renditions that I sent them. I thought they were really cool, but I knew in my spirit I wasn't fully satisfied with it because I saw the references they sent and I knew that that was not matching the energy of what they sent. Like it was matching the words of what they said they wanted, but what the references they sent, it wasn't matching that at all. And I knew that, but I still was sending it to them because I was like, trying to do what they wanted too much that I was sacrificing my artistic knowledge and my professional knowledge as a professional artist. Like for some reason, being an artist, like, and I don't know if it's even just being an artist, but a creative, like I this have had this block of like not trusting my own creative professionalism, my own creative vision. Like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when I went to school for this and I've been an artist my entire life. It runs in my blood. I have way more knowledge and creative like vision than the average person. That's why I do it for a career. That's why I'm a professional. Like I once I realized, excuse me, once I realized like and stepped out of my own way and just freed myself of these restrictions and restraints that I had put on myself because no one told me you have to follow this cookie cutter. Like they said, we trust you and your vision and what you come up with for this product, for this project. Like they were going between other people and they came to me and said, yeah, we're going to go with you because we trust you and your vision. And I just reminded myself on this last version that I gave to them, like, if they trust my vision so much, even after 2, 3 times of sending something to them that they weren't completely satisfied with, they still trust me. They still trust me and my vision. They still want what I have to offer, even after giving them 2 or 3 versions they didn't really like. I need to just trust myself and do what I know I can do and do what I know looks best. And when I did that, they loved it. They loved it. We're moving forward. We're signing paperwork. Like, do what you know you can do. Like, that's something my dad always told me too when I was an athlete. When I ran track, it was always just like, get out there and do what you know how to do. Do what you've practiced. Don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Don't worry about like take into consideration the feedback, but then do what you know how to do. So I haven't read any of The Artist's Way in the last 2 weeks, but I still think the reading and the rising pages, the residual effects of it have made my mind so much clearer and helped me to identify blockages way quicker than before I had started reading it. And I can see how, while even though I haven't kept up the last 2 weeks, it's still like allowing me to break down these barriers that I've built for myself. So I'm excited to get back into the reading. I'm going to keep posting here. These are not over. You're going to see more of me. Yeah, it's only going to get better and better and better. I've got what, 9 weeks left. So I'm going to hop back on the reading, even though I have a lot to do. I'm gonna make time. I'm gonna make time for myself. I am gonna get back on my artist date. I literally have had no time the last 2 weeks, and I was barely getting any rest, like not sleeping at all. So now that I have the energy and I'll be resting again, I'll be writing my rising pages, going on my artist dates, and yeah, more to come.